organizations that are involved in this, Junction City Fire Department, Junction City Police Department, and Lane County Fire Authority are doing this because we do care about you. I know that sounds a little silly and a little mushy, but it's the truth. You guys matter to us. You're our future. You're the city's future. You're the future of the global community. So what we're hoping you see today is going to help you make good choices or better choices. Adults and young people are killed every day in the United States because they drink alcohol and or use drugs and drive. We know you're going to experiment. You know, nobody's that naive, but we just want to make you help you make better choices. There goes my script. So please watch this. I think it will be interesting to you. I want you to take something away from it. I'm going to turn the mic over to Courtney Perry. This is our daughter. My wife is here also. Courtney sat through this one time, so she knows what this is, and she's been on the fire department also, so she knows what it is to see young people and adults hurt and killed. So Courtney's going to set the scene for you.
On the evening of the prom, Justin Wintch, Caitlyn Foust, Amber Smith asked if he's okay to drive. He said, "I can drive fine. I've done this before. I've only had a couple beers." Meanwhile, Krystal Lemhouse receives a call from a friend who is up at the Grimes Road party. This friend is uncomfortable and she wants to leave, but her date won't take her home. Krystal's date doesn't want to leave the prom either, so Krystal calls her mom, Laura. She asks her mom if she will come pick her up at the prom and go with her to pick up her friend at the Grimes Road party. Laura, who is always willing to help any student in need, agrees to leave and pick up Krystal. As the kids are driving to the party, they're laughing and they're joking, and Justin's bragging about how well he can drink and drive. As they near the end of Turnbull Lane at Ferguson Road, Justin runs the stop sign and slams into Mrs. Lemhouse's car. At first, Mrs. Lemhouse doesn't seem to be hurt very seriously. She's bleeding from a large wound on her forehead, but she's able to get up and move around. Krystal also seems to be all right, so her mom tells her to stay in the car while I go check on the other people. At this time, neither one of them know that they're students from Junction City High School. Mrs. Lemhouse never makes it to Justin's car. She starts to feel dizzy. She needs to sit down on the ground by her car. She will never get up. Because she had turned around to talk to Kayla, Amber, and Abby, who were in the back seat. She turned back around just as Justin started to slam on the brakes. The force of the collision threw Caitlyn through the windshield onto the hood of Justin's car. She is unconscious and she's barely breathing. The impact threw Justin into the steering wheel. Justin has hit his head on the steering wheel, but he is still conscious. In the confusion, he gets out of the car. Not sure what has just happened, he calls out for help.
Mom! Mom! Someone! Help! Help! Somebody help!
Kayla has a head injury and a broken left arm, but she's able to get out of the car and she goes to Caitlyn. Abby is conscious, but she's unable to move, and she is in terrible pain because she has broken both of her legs. Amber is also conscious, but she's unable to move as well, and she complains of pain in her neck.
Please help!
Mrs. Lemhouse is sitting on the ground, and she is very near death. Although she did not seem hurt at first, the impact of the cars was so severe that a large artery was partially torn away from her heart, and she started to bleed out internally from the moment of the impact. The last thing Laura will see is Krystal kneeling down, calling out for her.
What have you done? Oh my God. Should we just let her dry?
Mrs. Lemhouse is dead. She bled to death before emergency personnel could arrive to help her. Justin, well, he has minor injuries. He was wearing his seatbelt. He is confused due to the alcohol and hitting his head on the steering wheel. Caitlyn was thrown through the windshield and she has suffered severe head and chest injuries. Abby wasn't wearing her seatbelt either, and she was thrown forward, hitting the back of the seat, breaking both of her legs. Amber was wearing her seatbelt, but the force of the crash threw her forward, then violently backward into the seat. She is covered completely with blood from Abby's open leg fractures. Amber cannot move her arms or legs because her neck is broken. Kayla has a large wound on her head and a badly broken left arm. She will heal from the physical injuries, but not the emotional ones.
One front, driver.
She's breathing. She's breathing.
Okay.
Okay, let's get her off. Yeah, barely. Breathing.
Snap some pictures.
Down. Hold his spine.
You're clear to come in.
Pulse.
Hang in there. Hang in there. These kids take it very, okay?
Check her pulse. Her pulse.
Has been removed quickly from the hood, and EMTs are trying desperately to save her life. Caitlyn's heart has stopped. They are trying to revive her, but unable to save her because of severe damage to her head and her brain. There is nothing anyone can do for Caitlyn.
33, medicated, go ahead.
127 en route with one. Medic 125 route.
He knows Dad was left on that, so Dad's coming back.
The EMTs have called time of death on Caitlyn, and now they're working to secure the seat spines of the 2 patients in the back of the vehicle.
Want to take the roof? Get running back. You guys gonna hear some running noises? Okay, they gotta take this roof off so we can get you out of here, okay? Just hang in there for us. Hang in there.
What these guys are doing is they're going to try to get the patients that are still viable out of the car as quick as they can, but as carefully as they can. They have to make sure that they don't make a neck or a back injury worse. They have to evaluate the patient, see if there's any injuries that they can't see externally. Most of these guys that are working on these kids right now have lived in Junction City for quite a while or all their lives. They sat in the stands, most of them, where you guys are sitting now. They've watched this. They've seen this in real life. They've worked on kids that they remember from school or their parents or grandparents. It's hard on the first responders. This isn't a big city where we go home and it's over. We go home and think about the kids that we saw or the parents. This never goes away for us either. The majority of these people you're watching are doing this for free. They're volunteers. They don't have to do this. This isn't their job. They choose to do it. Can happen to you. It might not even be you that's drinking and driving. It could be someone else that's drinking and driving. This is a scenario that happens every day. It's probably happening right now somewhere.
You killed my mom! Killed her!
Amber and Abby are on their way to the hospital with serious injuries. Caitlyn has passed away, and Krystal is left without her mom and a friend. Just a presentation. These were students that acted for us. They get a do-over. They're going to go home, they're going to wash the blood off, and they're going to be fine. But in real life, there is no do-overs.
Thank you. I'm Officer Patterson, Junction City Police, and for those of you who don't know me, one of my specialties is DUII enforcement, both alcohol and as well as drug enforcement. I'm also a certified drug recognition expert, meaning I'm called in to do DUI investigations when it's something other than alcohol or something combined with alcohol. This is a scene that we see all too often. I don't care how rarely it happens, it's always too often. And this to you probably looks like the end of something. It's all over. For the two deceased people, it is over. But for everybody else, the driver, the injured people, their families, for the cops and the firefighters, and even for all of you, this is just the beginning. And it's the beginning of something truly horrible. For Justin, he got arrested for DUII and I'll haul him off to Lane County Jail. But that's just the start. He's going to be charged with some kind of vehicular homicide, probably manslaughter or criminally negligent homicide. And this, for him, is going to be the start of probably a good 15 years in prison. Not Lane County Jail, in prison. So while all the rest of you move on, you graduate, get married, start families, careers, every day that goes by, you'll be sitting in prison. That means every Thanksgiving, every Christmas, his family's going to be very aware of where he is, even if all of you moved on and kind of forgotten about him or wanted to. And of course, if he's under 18, his parents may be spending those holidays in very different conditions, since now they're also going to be financially responsible for 2 deaths and multiple injuries. So there's a good chance they could be sued and lose everything that they have. For the other people injured in this crash, they'll probably heal, but they're never going to be the same. They're never going to be the same physically. They're never going to be the same mentally. And all of you have lost 3 people forever. I say 3 because 2 are dead here. And when Justin gets out of prison, even if he was your friend in high school, you guys will be in your 30s. You'll be doing something else. You're not going to want to felon over hanging out with your family. So he's going to be gone to you too. And let's say that you drink and drive and you don't crash. People do it all the time. Well, that's when you get to deal with me. Maybe you read on the internet how you could beat the intoxilizer, or maybe your brother's friends pre-logged U of O or something. He told you how to get around the test and they can't make you do this and that. Well, I'm here to tell you, I've been arresting DUIs since probably a lot of you were in diapers. I've arrested hundreds of them. And I've gone toe-to-toe with all the big DUI lawyers in Lane County, the ones that you see the big ad in the phone book and that charge you $5,000 just to get the case started. You want to know how many times I've lost a DMV license suspension hearing to those guys? 0. You want to know how many times I've lost in court at a DUI trial to the big $5,000, $10,000 guys? 0. So you think you want to be the first to think that you'll drink and drive and try some new trick that you read and you'll beat it? You'd be my guest, but I don't think you're going to win. My professional career is devoted to arresting impaired drivers, whether it's from alcohol and drugs, and I'm good at it. You know, and lots of people ask me what the best part of being a cop is, and it's actually kind of hard for me to tell them, because
tell you the truth, there's a lot of pretty cool things about being a cop. I love being a cop. It's a pretty cool job. But I'll tell you in a second what the worst part is. It's not being threatened, it's not being insulted, it's not getting spit on, it's not being attacked. The absolute worst part of my job, without question, is death notifications. Because after all this is over and all you guys are going home and talking to each other and trying to cope with it, guess where I get to go? I get to go to everybody's house. Let me share with you for a minute what that's like. What I do is I find your house, I stand out in front with the chaplain. We usually say a couple of things, I think trying to put off having to take that walk up the front path. Because when you're out there looking at the house, knowing that the people inside have no idea what's happened to their children, that path looks like it's 2 miles long. But we go up, we knock on the door, porch light comes on, your parents answer. For just a second, they look kind of confused, and then they know. I then step into the house and I watch the light leave their eyes forever. When I tell them that the baby that they brought home 17, 18 years ago, they were so proud of, showed off to everybody, made sure to keep you warm, made sure you're wrapped in a blanket, keep you away from traffic when you're growing up playing ball. That baby's now unrecognizable, lying in a steel drawer down at the morgue. Some of them scream. Some of them just go dead silent. Some of them argue with me. They tell me it's not true. They tell me I got it wrong. My kid's not dead. I just talked to her an hour ago. Some of them even want to attack me as if maybe I'm the one that took their child. And in a way, to them I guess I am, since I'm the one that brings that news to them. But cops don't cry, we all know that. So even though I'm a father, I stay strong, I sit with them as long as they want, see if there's anyone they want us to call. Now the cops and the firefighters, we don't cry. At least not at the scene. They wait until they're alone. So if you're not scared of getting arrested and you think that you will be the first one to beat me at the DUI trial, I can't scare you off with that, then let me just ask you a favor, okay? Don't make me take that 2-mile walk up to the front of your parents' house, please. Thank you.
I think part of this is really showing me something, and that's that you never want to be part of this, ever. Luckily for me, this was fake, like nobody actually died. But I don't care how cool any of you guys think you are to try and drive drunk. Don't do it, because this will actually be real. Don't do it.
And the only way we can make sure that none of this happens to us, because I could decide not to drink and drive, and one of you could totally blow my schedule and kill me because you drunk and drive. The only way we can all ensure that we're safe is if we make a decision now. You're not going to be able to make the yes or no when you're drunk. You're drunk and you make stupid decisions. You have to make a decision now not to get in the car while you're intoxicated or have a designated driver. It's something you can choose to do and it'll make a difference.